Good afternoon, my dear students. We are indeed very fortunate to have with us Miss Abhipsa Mondal, who is going to deliver a session on role of consumer analytics. And as I was just telling you that we have been connected on LinkedIn for a very short period of time, but I found her to be a very enthusiastic young professional and very keen to connect with the student lot with our young minds. So I was very keen to invite her and giving a brief about Abhipsa, after completing her postgraduate diploma from IMT Nagpur in 2018, she joined the world of research and insights. She started her career with a secondary financial research company, but after a year, she made way into the primary market research industry. And as she says, she fell in love with the market research and insight space as the projects varied very vividly and every project threw a very different challenge. So she never grew bored of the space, which just fascinated her. She has a 4 years plus experience in both primary and secondary research. She has worked majorly in quantitative primary research markets, primarily catering to FMCG, FMCD, and pharma clients. She has worked with various kinds of both including quantitative and qualitative primary research projects like customer behavior, segmentation analysis, brand health tracking, communication strategy, product testing, etc. etc. And she loves to deep dive into the key problems, gather enough insights to build story so that the clients can see the big picture by connecting the dots. So we are indeed very fortunate enough to have Abhipsa with us, and I would request her to please start with the discussion right away. Thank you, Abhipsa, for joining us.
Thank you so much, Manav. Again, thank you everyone actually because I have been looking forward to this session for a long time now. And please let me know if my voice is totally clear. Just a moment, let me just do something.
Abhipsa, it's still cracking. You put your camera off for some time.
Yes, yes, that's what I'm doing. Just give me a minute. Um,
No, you have to go on sharing your screen. You are
yeah,
sharing right
and
now.
with that, just a minute. Give me a minute. I think I'll just. Okay, give me a moment, ma'am. I'll just join again. I think that's better because
Okay, okay, no problem.
yeah, give me a moment. I think okay. Am I audible now? I'll just share my screen again. I think it's very much. Uh, is it? Can you see my screen? Is it
Yes,
visible?
we can see it. We can see it
Great.
now.
Great. And is my voice a bit clearer, or should
Yes,
I?
it is much better. You can
Oh,
start.
great. Okay. So, let me just quickly tell about this topic very briefly. So, we are going to discuss about role of consumer analytics in today's topic. Now, I know that this kind of sessions, we look forward to the practicalities of the things and examples. But I think I would obviously start with a little bit of mundane part of it, which is the introduction, because knowing the definitions is very important. I think. So before diving into the content of today, I'll just quickly show you what are the topics we are going to cover today. So obviously, as I said, the main part is the introduction part, where we will talk about the definitions and a little bit of theoretical part about it. Then we are going to talk about customer analytics techniques and customer journey analysis. And I do have a case study for you guys, so we both we all can look at it and understand how these analytic techniques are useful in day-to-day life in the corporate. And then there is another kind of a technique which is customer segmentation analysis, which these two. So I have chosen these two particular topics majorly because the role of consumer analytics, the umbrella topic of today, will be very vital for this too. Okay, and of course I do have case study. Now I will just go to the first slide, which is the introduction slide. Now I'll start with what is consumer analytics. So as the slide says, customer analytics is called the customer data analytics. It is a systematic examination of company's customer information and customer behavior to identify, attract, and retain the most profitable customers. And what is the main goal of this? The primary goal of customer data analytics is to improve the overall customer experience. Now, you guys can absolutely go through whatever is written on the screen, but I'll just simplify this whole thing about saying that, or rather, I'll introduce by saying that we all have come across this particular phrase in recent times that data is the currency, okay? And we are in today's session, we're trying to understand how the companies or the business units are trying to, encash this currency, which is data, which is customer data in our case, okay? We all know that a happy customer is a loyal customer, and definitely more than advertising, it's the words of mouth that in our society goes spread like a wildfire, and people do come for the for the buying different products and services. If the quality of the products are good, if the services are good, and etc. etc. Okay. So basically, the businesses try to understand that what these customers are looking for, okay? Because we also have to know that these days customers are also very clever, okay? We cannot fool customers. Nobody can, right? Because we do have feedback, we do have review sections and everything, where customers are able to see the product prices, the quality, the reviews. So definitely it's important for the businesses to understand that what the customers are really wanting to find amidst everything, okay? And also to remember that these days the competition is really, really high. So knowing the customers in and out definitely gives a competitive advantage to the businesses, and that is where the customer analytics or the customer data analytics, the whole concept of this comes into the picture. So let's go next. So this one is now. It's a little bit of elaboration about what I have just said. So I just kind of try to summarize it, like why we need customer analytics, as in we, as in businesses, right? So customer analytics helps businesses make better strategies, better products, and provide better services to the customers. Like I mentioned before, right? The happy customers are always a better way to get more revenues, more profits, etc. Companies can use customer analytics for direct marketing, better brand position, and better customer relationship management. Also, customer analytics refers to process and technologies that give organizations the customer insights necessary to deliver offers that are anticipated, relevant, and timely. For example, let's take a quick example. Suppose I'm a customer and I'm looking to buy a smartwatch and my price range is say 4,000. Now I'm looking at e-commerce sites and I'm going through the the filler products of my thing, and if I come across something which is 10,000 worth of smartwatch, I'll definitely not, even if the quality of the product is really, really good, it will not attract my attention, because my goal as a customer is to buy a smartwatch which is, say, within a price range of 4,000. Now, how this search will help the e-commerce businesses? Now, at the other end of the side, where the business analysts are sitting or market researchers are sitting, they will kind of understand the browsing history of this customer, which is me in this case, in this example, and they will see that, this person is continuously browsing through a particular kind of a product and definitely probably giving a filter on the price, stating that she needs something within 3,000 to 4,000. So along with that, like with this simple observation of the data points, they will show me the product or recommendations which will be attractive to me, because obviously a smartwatch within that range will definitely be something that I will think of purchasing, right? So this is just an example. Now there are plenty and plenty of examples of customer analytics all over, and I'm very sure we all are customers, and our data points are actually being used to for this kind of thing by the business. And let me tell you, customer data analytics is very important, because if there is no customer, then there is no profit, there is no businesses, right? So keeping keeping customers happy is the primary goal of every business, and how we can keep them happy by utilizing their data points or the behaviors. Okay. Now, on that note, I'll go to the next part, which is customer life cycle. As you can see on the slide, there are total 5 steps in customer life cycle. So when a customer becomes a customer for a business, so when a business gets one particular person to buy a product from that, like suppose for example, again I'm a business who is selling smartwatch, and somebody is coming and buying a product from me for the first time. In that point, I will say, okay, this is the time I have acquired this customer. This is a new acquisition, right? Next part would be if that person is buying regularly from us, we will obviously have all the data points, which is the understanding part or the customer behavior analytics. Now, in this section, we'll be talking in details about this particular stage. But to wrap it up, you can see there are more steps in the customer life cycle. Okay, so just to understand the customer behavior does not end our work as a business, right? So if we can't keep those insights useful, we cannot really communicate to the customers about a new product, or new discounts, or new offers. So kind of that is how we will upsell them, and that is how we will retain them. And of course, the servicing is also very important. Anyway, that's for another day. Maybe I'm not going into details about this. Let's talk about the major part of the thing, that is customer behavior analytics. That is the second part. Okay, this part we are going to talk about into this session. That is customer behavior analytics. Let's quickly see what is the definition. A customer behavior analytics is a thorough investigation of how customers engage with your company or product. Using qualitative as well as quantitative methods, a customer behavior analysis looks at every stage in the customer's journey and provides insight into what's driving the consumer behavior. Now that with examples, previous smartwatch example, I think I have already cleared this part. But in case you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask me, but maybe after the session. So I have just kind of created a quick visualization about it. So how it is customer behavior analytics is most likely to be read like customer purchase. Now, what this customer has purchased, when they have purchased this, and by which channel? Because there are stores, physical stores available, online stores available, and so many other options are there. Okay. So now that we are done with the introduction part, we'll go to the next interesting part. Now, this part is very interesting, which is kind of a technique that are used for this behavior analysis, right? So there are main 4 key buckets in this particular topic. So there are 4 key techniques by which customer analytics happens. Now we will go one by one. So you can see on the screen there are 4 different names, namely descriptive analytics, diagnostic analytics, predictive analytics, prescriptive analytics. Now I'm not going in details about talking about what it does, because I am very sure you guys can read through it and you can get a number of examples in the next. So I'll just quickly I'll go by examples that I have put it up here, and I have taken some industry which I think we all are customers of, e-commerce industry, for example, Amazon, Myntra, Flipkart. These all are e-commerce industries, and I'm very sure we all do have this kind of apps in our phones. So let's see what is this descriptive analytics, what it does. Basically, it focuses on summarizing and highlighting patterns in current and historical data. For example, suppose I am Amazon and I do have a footfall of new customers in my website every month. So every month I'm seeing that, okay, 10,000 people are entering our website. The new customers, new IDs are being created, apps are getting downloaded, and these businesses do have all the databases possible to give them all the details about these customers, the previous ones, the new ones, and even the customers who are not using this apps anymore. So basically, descriptive analytics basically talks about the patterns of the raw data enabling management to see briefly how well the business is performing. For example, how many products are being sold, how many people are actually keen on understanding a particular kind of product, which products are not doing well, which products are doing really well. All this kind of analysis. So it's kind of a summary. So the data sets are already present in front of us. In this kind of technique, we kind of just pretty much straightforward technique where we just draw a simple summary. Like, 70% of the people are interested in smartwatch, but which are in the price range of 5,000, for example. Now, going to the next, now we know that, okay, this is the descriptive analytics. Next step is diagnostic analytics. So when you're a marketer or you're dealing with a lot of data, or as a business analyst, you're working with a company, they do try to understand, you know what, this product is not selling. Why this is not selling? Because it was doing great when it launched, for example. So diagnostic analytics in this space comes handy. Now what happens in this kind of technique? Diagnostic analytics is basically the logical next step after using descriptive analytics to identify trends. It can be leveraged to understand why something has happened and the relationship between the related factors. Now, how does we perform this step? By using statistical analysis methods like hypothesis analysis, regression analysis. Okay, I know this kind of terminology would be new for you guys, and you guys would be thinking what she's talking about. So I just wanted you guys to give a basic idea about the tools that we use as business analysts or market researchers as well. Okay? So you don't have to understand right now what it's all about. I'll give you an example so it becomes clear that what is this kind of analytics. Okay. So again, e-commerce industry example, a customer who is adding a product to the cart and then removing it, it may be possible that this customer is doing a price simulation to know the total price including GST and shipping costs, if any. Okay, and how as a business people we know this data? Of course, we do have all the data points. We do have their the history, like browsing history, purchasing history, etc. So if that person is not buying a product and continuously doing this process of adding product in the cart and almost going to pay but not paying and reverting back to the browsing, then that probably means that is the hypothesis. Now you tell me what is hypothesis? The hypothesis is nothing but an assumption that probably this person is checking that how much the price would be along with GST or tax if applicable, and if there is shipping cost, then what is the end price? This is just an example, and there can be a plenty again. Now, next part is predictive analytics and prescriptive analytics. Now, predictive analytics is the top of the town. Recently, if you go to LinkedIn or even Google search, I think everybody is following predictive models. Now, what are these? These are the branch of advanced analytics techniques. Now, before going into this, I want to say one more line, very important thing is that descriptive and diagnostic analytics is very basic and omnipresent across the globe, across all the industries. So a business needs this too. Without this too, no business can survive. They need to know their customers. They need to know why something is getting sold out fast and why something is not getting sold out so quick. But these two methods are a little advanced in nature. Not necessarily that all the industries follow, but definitely it gives, especially the third one, predictive analysis, gives the kind of a competitive edge to the people, right? Now, what it talks about, let's look at the definition of it. This is a branch of advanced analytics that makes predictions about future outcomes using historical data, which is our descriptive analytics summarization, and combined with statistical modeling, which is kind of this, and there are many more. You must have heard about artificial intelligence, coding, and R, Python, machine learning, different types of things are available these days. Now, everything is combined together under this particular technique, and we kind of overlap all the techniques to understand what can be profitable for the business, what can retain our customers, what can be, make our customers happier. So these are the things that help this particular technique helps us to understand our customers better from the future perspective. Example is that okay. Now this example I don't have to okay. Let's just say that previously like in last year I think I had to attend a lot of weddings. My friends were getting married, so obviously I went to instead of like online stores are very easy to get things. So I was looking at a lot of sarees because I had to attend the wedding. So what happened after 2 or 3 days of browsing sarees and ethnic wear? Now this kind of like Mintra and Agio and all this kind of apps started showing me product recommendations. Even when I was online on Instagram or Facebook, they started showing me the particular ethnic wears in this and that range. Okay. So why this is happening? Did I call this people and say, you know what, I'm looking at ethnic to give me more number of options? No, right? But they knew. And how they knew it? Because they obviously is running behind the predictive analytics tools and machine learning and codes that will help them to understand, okay, this person is browsing about this particular product. Probably that means this person is I'm buying this kind of particular ethnic wear. And it was quite right? So they did not know, they made a prediction, and that actually was true. I was actually looking at ethnic wear to buy because I had lots of, shabby to attend to. Okay. So I am very sure you guys must have gone through this product recommendation phase as well, where you must have seen that, you have browsed a particular product, any product rather, and then suddenly you will see, your whole feed is with thrown up with product recommendations. So that is one big example of predictive analytics. I try to take up the easiest, simplest example so we can all relate to the example. Now, next is prescriptive analytics. I'll not go in details with that because it's still in a nascent stage, let's say. Because predictive is still, as I said, top of the town. Prescriptive is something that will, that is going to be something probably top of the town in the future. But yes, we do have a lot of prescriptions or let's say recommendations coming in. Okay, so and I don't think I'm going to go and talk about this in detail. So I'll just quickly summarize everything that we discussed. Okay, so let's see at a quick glance. Descriptive analytics talks about what happened. Descriptive talks about what happened. Diagnostic talks about why did this happen. Predictive analytics talks about what might happen in the future outcomes, like we talked about the product recommendation example. And then prescriptive is basically about what we should do next. Okay, we obviously ask the business analyst as a business that you guys are having the data points and data sets and everything in your control, right? Please give us the numbers and please recommend us that how we can win hard, how we can make these people happier, the customers. Okay, so there comes the prescriptive analytics, and then I'll go next. Okay, now as I promised you guys that I'll be talking about an example in a case study way, and I have taken again the e-commerce.
Abhipsa, just a second. Let's see if they have any questions so far. Anybody has any questions so far? And Abhipsa, there is a lot of background noise coming from your side. Vanna, I think you can also hear that, na?
Yes, ma'am.
So if you can just set that right.
Just give me a minute.
I've unmuted students. So in case anyone has any question, they can just raise their hands and unmute, and you can put your questions forward.
So we have been talking about consumer analytics, what it is, and what are the 4 different types, what is the life cycle that they follow. So if anybody has any questions regarding it, you can please ask.
Yes, I think, is it better now?
Definitely. Yeah, okay. It was earlier, actually I didn't want to stop you, but there was a lot of noise.
I'm so sorry.
It is much better now. Yeah.
It is much better, right? Okay, cool. So you guys have any questions, or you must have, if in case, my voice was not very much audible, please do ask me.
So Abhipsa, what I will request is, since your voice is clear, could you just very briefly tell all these 4 different types of analytics before we come to the example?
Of course. Okay, so I'll just quickly talk about these 4 kinds of analytics. So as I mentioned before, descriptive analytics and diagnostic analytics are like bread and butter of every business. Okay, so they are omnipresent across the globe, across every industry, be it education, be it hospitals, be it say a shoemaking business or a apparel business, anything, anywhere. Without this kind of data sets or analytics skills, no business can thrive. Okay, now why I say that? Because descriptive analytics talks about that whenever we see a particular data sets about the consumer's behaviors, to understand our customers better, we try to understand what are they behaving like. To understand the patterns and the trends, maybe we can see that, okay, this particular person, I'll just take an example again. So in this example, I was talking about that the companies like Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra, all this kind of online stores. What do? They do have every detail, each and every detail of every customer that that visit the online stores. So they do have their browsing history, from their purchasing frequency and what's not. Okay, probably the kind of payment methods they're using and all these things. Okay, now how can this particular all these data points help the business from the sales point of view? Now, if they do have the information, they will understand, okay, you know what, ABC kind of a product is sold out very quickly. Okay, and probably CD kind of a product has not been sold out. Now, these people who are having a lots and lots of products under their umbrella, they'll try to, sell as much as possible. Definitely, that's the goal of every business, to increase their revenue and their sales. Now, what is the only formula to crack that code is that to keep the customers happy. And how can you keep them happy? To, first of all, to understand that what these customers are behaving like, to understand their history of purchase, history of payments, and etc. etc. And then we can probably understand, okay, this particular cluster of people are keen on buying products which are quickly available to them. Okay, probably another cluster of people are more into luxury products. They do not like normal, average products. So there are n number of things we can talk about, and these can be, and I'm very sure the case study we are going to solve together, you guys will see that how beautifully these four analytics are blended together. So you might ask me that, do we have to, in the corporate when we are working, do we have to remember which is prescriptive analytics, which is diagnostic analytics? No, you don't have to remember, because it's just to make you guys understand and aware of the terminologies. Because once you're working with a large number of data sets in the real world, definitely it's just the problem we are solving. We do not go by theories, but to make you understand, I just have noted down everything that is important for you guys to know and be familiar with. Now, next one is diagnostic analytics. It is nothing but to understand why something. So, for example, why certain cluster of people are referring to a product, and why this particular people are not referring to the another product of the same kind of a price range. Okay, there must be a reason, right? So there comes the kind of analysis where it is called hypothesis or regression analysis. Now, what are these? These are the techniques where business analysts or market researchers, they assume something. Okay, and they assume, for example, like price sensitive buyers are probably going to buy more during the flash sale season. This is an assumption. And how to get into this assumption? By comparing this historical data, the browsing history and everything. Okay. Now, I have given an example here again. So a customer who is adding a product to the cart and then removing it, and probably this whole step is being repeated again and again by this particular customer ID or customer, we will probably think that, okay, this person is a price stimulating. This person is doing a price simulation. What kind of a price simulation? This person wants to check the end price along with taxes, along with shipping costs, or maybe he has some coupon codes, and if he applies that coupon code, then how much is the cost savings he's having. So this is kind of a diagnostic analytics example falls under. Okay, and then there's predictive analytics and prescriptive analytics, which are more into advanced analytics. Now, prescriptive is more of a future thing, like what can be done, how we can improve our offerings to the people, and strategizing accordingly. I'm not going in details about this, but I'll definitely talk about predictive analytics, because this is definitely very, very important thing right now. Okay, I'm very sure you guys must have heard about machine learning, artificial intelligence, and there were articles, artificial intelligence is going to make so many people jobless because they are so fast and they are so fascinating, and they are actually. Now, what do they do is, so product recommendation was an example I gave. I'm not sure if you guys heard the example, but I'll tell again the example that I gave from myself, and I'm very sure you guys must have experienced it. So in last year, I had a lot of weddings to attend, shadis to go to. So I was looking at ethnic wear, different kind of ethnic wear in this and that range. Through all the Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra, Ajio, everywhere I was going through ethnic wear, saris and stuff like that. And I did the browsing for 2 to 3 days to understand what kind of designs I'm looking at. And trust me, the very next day, my whole social media feed were full of this kind of promotion, product recommendations from this particular website. Now, did I call these people and tell them, you know what, I need this ethnic wear? No, right? But how did they know? Because in reality, I was actually looking at ethnic wears, right? So they did some number calculations, some models, they ran some artificial intelligence formula or something at the back end, and they understood, okay, this person is continuously looking at this particular product, ethnic wear, so definitely this is something she really needs to buy. So they will make sure they throw the all kind of product recommendations so that I can buy this particular product. And I did, and they were successful. So in this case, prediction was successful. Now, how they did predict this? Of course, by the descriptive analytics, that is a history, my browsing history, and of course the assumption that we covered in this particular thing. So predictive is basically the combination of this and this, along with some codings and machine learnings and everything. Okay. And prescriptive, I'm not going in details. I'll just go next.
Thank you so much, Abhipsa, for repeating it. So now we can come to the guest session, to that case study.
Cool. So I'll just go. And is it visible properly? Everybody can see. I know it's a lot of columns and rows, but I think it was important to, and I tried to take the easiest case study possible so everybody of us can relate to it. Now, again, the e-commerce is something we all do. Now, in this case study, we're trying to understand the customer behavior journey analysis. Now, how, as a business person in real life, you will do this analysis, behavioral analysis. So, I have taken a simple snapshot from starting on the date of 1st of March till 8th of March. Okay, and you see these are the IDs I have created. I mean, we can see on the screen, and there are kind of like 6 IDs, 6 unique IDs, and few of them have been repeated. So basically, this is a snapshot of the summary of the people who are visiting our stores. Let's say we are e-commerce site and like Amazon or Flipkart. And we are kind of understanding that why some people are buying from us and why some people are not buying from us. And to understand that, we quickly took out this kind of a snapshot, and we are trying to understand what these people are doing like, okay? Now, before I go ahead with the case study, I would say that please keep in mind that we will be doing all kinds of analytics, and I'll probably ask a question. So I
think we lost a voice.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
We lost your voice for some time.
Okay. When was the last word?
So you were just talking about that you download this to analyze the consumer's history.
Yes, consumer's history, and to understand why some people are buying from us and why some people are probably not buying for us, and what we can do to attract or retain these people. Okay. So now we will see that how beautifully the techniques I talked about in our previous slide, we will combine everything, and everything will overlap and give us everything in the next slide. But before going to the next slide, I will probably ask 1 or 2 questions. So please pay attention to this case study. So here we will just look at the highlighted portions of the people, probably to mark. So this highlighted portions mark that these people are frequent visitors in our website, and we are, say, somebody like Amazon. Okay, so let's go by first ID. Ma'am, please let me know if I'm not audible, because then I'll, repeat.
Yes, definitely. Right now it's fine.
It's fine. Okay, cool. So we will just first look at the red highlighted portion, which is customer ID 1. Now let's see what this person is doing. So on 1st of March at 10 a.m., this person logs in, and then from 10 he starts browsing products in our website, and then at 10:10 he adds to favorites. So probably he marks some, gives some love reacts to the products that we do normally in the e-commerce. And then around 10:20 a.m., this person adds some products to the cart, and at 10:22 he checks out. He adds one product to the cart, and he checks out, and he makes his payment and logs out. So from this we can see that this person was pretty much now assumption will come in this kind of a situation. We can see here that this person just entered the website, browsed the product, and quickly bought it. From this we can probably assume that this person was very clear about what he wanted to buy. Okay. Now, let's see at 5th of March, assuming that this person has already received the product. Okay. So this particular person, you can see the same ID, that is C0001. This person has, logged in around evening, and then he was, browsing the return policy section. And then he calls the customer care, and then he raises a request for return, and then logs out. From this, what we can understand is that, or assume is that, this person probably got the product. Obviously, he got the product, and he probably did not like the quality, or maybe he did not like some parts, or maybe the product was in bad shape. That's why he browsed the return policy section. Then he calls the customer care and confirms that he wants to return the product and logs out. Okay, so have you seen that we have done 2 kind of analytics here, just with this one particular ID? Can anybody tell me which are the 2 analytic techniques we have just applied?
Okay, students, please answer.
Yes, students.
Anybody?
Anybody give it a shot. We are nobody here
You,
to judge it.
yes,
So,
you have to explain out of the four that were discussed just now, which analytics would be applied here.
Ma'am, diagnostic.
very
Right.
good. And also another one also got applied.
Yes, Gautam, which was the another one?
Ma'am, I only remember this diagnostic one because also in that example there was something like added to cart, so I
Assumptions.
remember
Yeah,
that.
very good actually, very good point. But yeah, we did a descriptive analytics as well. Descriptive as in just looking at the data entries and we are trying to, summarize what this person is doing. So this summarization is called descriptive analytics. And we have assumed that, the product might be bad or something. That's why this person is returning the thing. So that's why we have applied the diagnostic analytics. Okay, and we will apply the two more analytics. Okay, let's go and see what more we can see. So if we look at, okay, I'll not show you.
Okay.
This person logs in, browses the products and logs out. Simple. Then again, this person logs in after a few days and then he browses the products, then adds to cart, then checks out, payment, as in like he buys the product, that means, and then he browses product again, and then he adds to favorite and then logs out. And then this person, on few days after, what he does is he again, logs in. What he does is he adds to cart from add to favorite. That means he had something here that he really liked, but he was not sure at that time that he wanted to buy it or not. Probably that's why he just added in the favorite list of his. And then today, after he logged in, he decided, no, I want to buy it. So he adds to the cart, he checks out, and then he makes the payment and he logs out. Very simple and a very positive case of a customer. So we have done again descriptive and diagnostic analytics. Now look at the next case, which is the customer ID 6. Now what this person is doing is logs in, browses products, add to cart, browses products again, remove from cart and logs out. Okay, probably this person is not very sure that he wants to buy it or not. At least from this entry, we understand this. Look at the next entry, which is on 8th of March, where this particular person again logs in, then he browses the product, then he adds to the cart and then logs out. Again, no luck with buying the product. So these are the three different kind of customers we have in our mind. Now we will try to understand in detail that what these persons are thinking or how we can or what steps or recommendations we can do to attract these customers. Now we'll go to the next thing and we'll understand. Take example one, which was customer ID 1. Remember the one who returned? So this customer seems to be unsatisfied with his purchase and hence he returns his product. Of course, he must be unsatisfied, right? Otherwise, why he would? So recommended actions to get him back because he obviously did not purchase anymore in at least in that particular week or let's say month. So we can do as business to attract him again. We can provide him a discount. We can make sure that customer service experience was positive. When he called the customer care, we made sure that, the customer care representative was very much attentive to what this person had to say and why he is returning the thing. So we can check internally also if anything needs to be improved. As in, you remember, or maybe you have noticed that, while we are returning some product, we get a quick feedback form from the websites where we have to mention that, this is the reason I'm returning the product. So definitely we have that qualitative data inside us as a business. We should check that, if anything could be improved. So this is what we have done here is we have analyzed and we have predicted or probably a recommendation is, recommended. So we have applied here predictive analytics as well as prescriptive analytics. Next one, let's see the customer ID 6, who the person who always browses. So this customer seems to enjoy browsing through the products, but seems to be lacking the purchase intention. As mentioned, as observed before from the entries, that this person always comes back, browses, and then goes back without, really making the purchase. We all do window shopping, right? So probably this person was one such. Okay, now in this case, what can be the recommended action to, actually make him buy the product? So we can provide again a discount. Definitely people love discounts. No, who doesn't love it? Then make sure the customer service experience is positive in case he's a regular buyer from the site. Then try to reach out to him with a customer satisfaction survey and try to understand what exactly he is looking for. You must have seen that sometimes some companies give you a call and ask, ma'am or, sir, please give us a feedback how the product is doing and at your end, and are you happy? So, this kind of a satisfaction can be done to a person who has not probably bought from our site in a long time. So we try to understand why, what happened suddenly to this person that he stopped, he's just browsing, but actually lacking the intention to purchase from us. Then next part is the third one, the happy customer. Probably this is perfect example of a happy customer. So this customer seems to be enjoying the products from the site and seem to be frequent visitor, and recommended action to retain him because he's already happy. So we have to make sure that he doesn't go away from us. So what is the problem? What is the recommended solution to this issue is that we can provide him a loyalty discount. These are particularly curated to particular customers who are really, really loyal to the particular site. Okay, we can say him, what, you have been really very loyal, so take 20% discount for the next purchase. Make sure the customer service experience is positive and create a loyalty card scheme. Some these days these websites are also giving you cards where you can probably get extra 10% or 5% off with every purchase, like that. Some that kind of a scheme we can propose to this person, or we can probably give away a free item with a multiple purchase, or maybe we can give a notification to this person, what, by this 15th of this month, if you are going to purchase some products worth 2,000, you'll get something worth 1,000 free, just exclusively curated for the happy customer to make him more happy and to keep this customer coming back to us again and again. So these are the, I think I try to keep it very simple and very relatable. Please let me know if you guys have any question in this customer journey analysis that we have recently done.
Any questions, anybody?
I think it was pretty clear. So I'll just probably go next. So yes. Now we'll talk about another very interesting part. Okay, again theory, but don't worry. I think I have already explained this through examples. So it will
segmentation.
Yes, it will be easier for you guys to now relate to these terms. Okay, now what is customer segmentation? Customer segmentation is the process by which you divide your customers based on common characteristics. For example, you remember I told you that there are a few cluster of customers who are more into luxury items. And then there are a few cluster of customers who are more into discount, attracted to discounts or the free items and stuff like that. So definitely each and every individual behavior is different. Their mottos are different. Their purchasing behavior is different, and through that we can probably segment them. And there are different ways we can segment this customer, because there are chunks of customer data and chunks of people who are visiting our stores. So let's just quickly see which are the kind of segmentations. So I think behavioral segmentation, I have already talked about, like spending habits, purchase frequency, browsing habits, the products, and etc. So I'm not going in details about it. Now let's talk about demographic segmentation. Now I don't want to know what if somebody is into luxury items or if somebody is into not so luxury items. So I want to know if the younger population is attracted to a particular product, or the comparatively older population is attracted to a certain kind of product. So this kind of segmentation comes under demographic segmentation, where we segment or cluster the groups of people by age or gender or both, or ethnicity, income group, level of education, and all these things, professions, right? So this demographic segmentation is basically about profiling of the customers, right? Next is geographical segmentation. Now I'm a global player in some kind of a product, okay, and I want to probably understand a particular country's demographics. So what we can do is we can probably take country-wise to understand that in which country my product is being sold out the most, or quickly sold out. Okay, so in that case the geographical segmentation might come in handy, or the city or the postal code. So these three kind of segmentation comes under geographical segmentation. Next is psychographic segmentation. Now this particular is more into qualitative part of the business analytics or market research, because in qualitative kind of a surveys where we ask questions and where people do not really answer the exhaustive list, and they do answer from heart and they give a lot of sentences, in that kind of in those kind of data sets, we will actually find a pattern about this person is okay, this person is probably into reading books, this person is probably just into playing cricket. Now hobbies, life goals, values, beliefs, But psychographic segmentation is not very common, I would say, and this is particularly probably is into hospitality industry or the, this kind of industries where, they can provide you a better customer experience service while you're staying in a villa. And obviously a person who is introvert, that person will like a villa with a probably, a bookshelf, because this person is probably into books. So, all this kind of segmentations can be done under this categories. So I think this is pretty much clear. So I'll go to the another pretty simple example or case study. So here I have taken a case study of from the airlines, and here the assumption I have. So airlines have the flights, or the people who are into this airline industry, they do have loads and loads of data points. Again, what the person is buying, where they are going, which is the price, or which are the kind of flights they are attending to, if they're eating inside the flight, are they happy with the economy class or the business class. So many things can be done. So what we have done is I have taken already an example that, okay, this is one customer, this frequent flyer with us, with our airline. And so in this example, we are now airline. Okay, we are flying airs. So and another example is, so there are two customers who are probably very frequent buyers of the tickets, air tickets we provide. So in this kind of a situation, now let's see what the first customer ID is doing. So we can see that this person is female. So we have just done what, we have done this geographic or gender analytics, that is the demographic segmentation. So this person is a female person, and that person's age bracket is 35. So she falls in 35 to 44 years of age bracket. Now, among the history of recent recent tickets she has purchased from our airline, she probably prefers economy class rather than business class, because she just for once she took business class, but in most of the cases she is taking economy class. So it's very much evident from this particular thing that this person prefers economy class. Now let's look at the timings of the flights she likes. Early mornings, a strict no. So in this frequent purchasing of the tickets, she never booked a flight which was in early morning. But morning, a big yes, because every time she probably, okay, we have taken another assumption here that these people do book for round trips, okay, not only going but coming back through our airline. So morning flights are big yes, afternoon flights it's a mixed bag. So in two cases yes, and in evening flights also you can see it's a mixed bag. So we cannot draw strong conclusion about her liking about these two slots, but definitely she does not like early morning flights and night flights, and she definitely likes morning flights. Okay, now why this is important? So this customer, a regular and frequent traveler, as I have already mentioned and assumed, seems to prefer economy class and morning flights and avoid getting into early morning or nighttime flights. As because this traveler tends to travel via economy class, it shows that she is a price sensitive individual. Now again, this is about the assumption. Okay, price sensitive because obviously economy class tickets are cheaper than the business class, right? And would not respond positively if the air ticket prices go up. So obviously, if a person who is more into price sensitive person, like for whom, so for example, I'm a price sensitive flyer and I want to make sure that, I'm not spending a lot on my air tickets. Definitely, if the air price offers me a product recommendation is, above my range, I'll never be attracted to that kind of an offer. But I'll be attracted to a kind of offer where they will throw some discount to me, or probably say me that, what, book 2 flights with us, and in the third time when you're booking the flight with us, you'll probably get 20% off. Now, this kind of things will attract the price sensitive individuals. So that is the recommended action. So maybe discount coupons help in the future to retain this customer. Now we will go to the example 2, where this is a gentleman, like, it's a male who is who falls into this category of age. And then in this case, we can see that this person is definitely into business class. And from the slots of booking, we can see that this person loves the night flights. Okay, evening and morning is a mixed bag, so we can't really strongly recommend these two slots, but definitely this person avoids flying in the early morning flights or afternoon flights. Okay, and if you look at this analysis that we have quickly drawn from here, we can see that this customer, who is again, we have assumed is a regular flyer with us, seems to prefer business class and night flights and avoid getting into early morning or afternoon flights. This might indicate that this person may not be as price sensitive, because of course business classes are expensive, and probably from other data points they have understood that this person always books a ticket prior to departure date. So definitely we all know that, while we are booking a flight ticket prior to traveling, then it will obviously, the costs are obviously high. So that might indicate two or three things. One, this person is either super rich and doesn't really care about paying more, and he's probably lazy to plan ahead. Second thing, can be assumed that this person is probably flying business class because this all are reimbursed from the company he's traveling for. So these all are business trips. So he really doesn't care because he doesn't have to pay from the pocket. And that's why we can, so in this kind of case, what we can do as to increase our profit in this case is that we can throw any number of price range to this person, because we all know that air ticketing in the flight keep changing, and it's a very dynamic pricing principle they follow, the airlines, right? So in this case, if they know that if they increase the price and show that product recommendation to this gentleman, he will probably accept, because as I said, we have assumed two or three things already about him. Okay, so to increase the thing, we can probably give him a better servicing offer also, of course, to make him happy. So yeah, with this, I think I have covered up case study. I think the case studies were easy to understand. Please do let me know if it was very difficult to follow, because these are, I know, can be a little bit analytics driven, but if not, then we can do a quick recap. So in this two different
Abhipsa, I think instead of a recap, let's give it a conclusion.
Yeah, so
because it is already 4:15 and
yes,
their
yes.
class time is over.
Yes, I know, and that's why I think that is it from my end. So it's a quick recap, as in how we do the customer analytics this time. So we just find a problem that these are the kind of customers we have to target and what they're looking at. We have to compare the data, and the process I have already explained. So I'll just not go in details about it. So yes, now that I am done with the whole presentation, you guys have any questions or any queries or any questions regarding the case studies I have shown, please let me know.
Yes, students, any questions with analytics, any questions with case study? Though I think that analytics was very well explained by both the case studies that she has taken. Yes, any student having any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, great. So I think I can stop sharing my screen then and just go back. And okay, cool. So thank you so much, guys, for bearing with me. I hope the presentation was helpful and you guys are aware of the few terms and how, in real life the things work out from the analytics point of view.
So Abhipsa, it was really very interesting. Although there was a little problem initially due to the voice, but otherwise it was very interesting and the examples were very interesting. So Abhipsa, do you people actually conduct such kind of research for each and every customer, or it's just software driven?
It depends, ma'am. Actually, it depends about the industry. For example, airlines probably will go for going to the cluster. So we don't do actually each and every customer, but online business like Amazon might do, because they have a lot more people working in that department. But normally, so in my short experience, I have seen that we do clustering of the people. Okay, we do pick out a target market group that this is the problem area and we have to solve it, and then we apply all the analytics techniques and then do the analysis.
Okay, so
one more thing. We did a lecture on Saturday that was talking about neuro-linguistic approaches of customers. So therein we talked a little bit about ethical issues in conducting all these things. So what about these analysis? I mean, do we take permission from the customer, or this is something that we?
Yes, so in market research, or the market research I have talked about, we definitely do, I think, because it's actually in the, if you go by the rules of market research, the institute that regulates this studies and then gives a thumbs up to this, we cannot, so in few countries, they do not reveal the customer IDs as such. So there is just no names, no email IDs, just the ID numbers. Okay. But in India, it's more into the countries which are in the western side, right? So they are very, very particular about profiling, revealing the profile. Okay, they don't do that, and if you do that, then obviously that's the problem. Ethical issues, like we say, they do attract that.
Because in India we see that data from one company goes to
Oh my
another,
God,
and
in
this is
India
how.
there is more regulations.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
but market research studies happen with the consent. So when everything is happening with the consent of the customers, then obviously it's very much ethical. Okay, if I'm obviously I cannot just take your data and ask you that what I am going to publish everything about. It doesn't happen like
And
that.
now the other side of the story, like if your customer knows that I am being, analyzed, then do you really think that they would be depicting their real behavior?
I think we all do, because, as I said, predictive analytics is something that is beyond our control. Okay, like for example, I am from this industry. I do very well know why the product recommendations are happening. Still, it's so psychologically. I mean, there is a stream of psychological data driving things also, where actually I do browse things and I do get influenced by the product recommended to me, because after a point, if you're showing one product continuously to one person, you're like, okay, I want to buy this.
So Vanda, Shreya Tripathi has some question.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Shreya, yes.
Yes, Shreya, please unmute.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, I wanted to follow up with what Vandana ma'am just said, that I read this article somewhere where they stated that when blockchain technology has entered the marketing department, like the whole segment as well, so they said it very clearly that if one day it is going to be introduced in the consumer analytics, then consumers will be aware that I can get paid for the data that I'm giving to all these people. So what do you think that if that happens in future, how is it, like, how is it going to change the phase of or the consumer analytics as such? Like, it would be, I feel that it would be difficult for the company to create such, like create such questions for the customers, because that way you guys have to think, because there's a cost incurred in that side as well.
Of
Yes,
course.
ma'am.
Very, very, very good question, first of all. So I think when it comes and when people realize, what, my data, and even now I think it's happening, we all know, but in a market research, from the market research point of view, if I say, I cannot say about blockchain technology and the analytics rules, but what I have seen in market research is that we do always take consent, and it's very transparent. And obviously, like, ma'am, you have just asked me one more question, that what if a person already knows that this is a product he's being interviewed for? हमारा tendency नहीं होता है, like, okay, this person is from, for example, from Samsung. So she's probably going to ask me about Samsung, so I'm going to talk a lot good about it. So what we do in that case, to avoid this biasness in the data, what we do is we kind of take the example of a lot of companies, so you don't know which company I'm coming from or representing, but you would know that, okay, I am taking your data sets to understand and develop a new product or a product feature. So consent is very important, and consent is taken in market research practices. So it's very important, otherwise it will be unethical. And if that day happens when a person is realizing, okay, my data is being sold out, even I know that it's happening, but really can we do anything right now? No. But I think for that to happen, a lot of rules and regulations will have to be coming up to support that kind of a situation where people are comfortable in sharing the data. So that's one thing to go about it. I think did I?
Yes.
Could be again.
Yes, it's absolutely clear. So I think I don't, these are just some of the students who always have certain questions, and it's really good.
Yes,
So I think,
actually, yes.
yes. So Vanda, what would you suggest? Should we close the session then?
Yes, ma'am. The session was really insight.
Yes, it was really insightful and insight into consumers' insights. Abhipsa, so I just got an idea. Next time we'll invite you for a session on consumer research.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
I'm sure you do a lot of consumer
That is
research.
my bread and butter.
Yes. So next time we'll invite you for a consumer research where you can just talk only about how you conduct that in the real time scenario.
We
Absolutely.
can actually invite her for first year students, ma'am. We are teaching them consumer behavior and consumer research. So if
Okay.
yeah,
If she has time, then definitely we can invite.
Definitely we can. Yeah.
It will be an honor, really, if that's happening.
Okay,
And I
so
really hope
Abhipsa, I'll discuss it with Vandana, and we'll definitely invite you. Maybe we can keep it in May also, Vandana.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. They have their sessions till 20th, 28th of May. So the classes would end on 28th. So maybe we can keep.
Okay, so we'll keep it fun for consumer research.
Yes, so let me know from Chai so I can be prepared about it. And
Definitely.
it was lovely, interacting with all of you. And thank you, ma'am, for giving me this platform.
No,
And
it
I
is
will look
the
forward.
pleasure is all ours. Thank you so much, Abhipsa.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
for sparing some time out of your busy schedule. We really appreciate the industry people who are ready to talk to a young mind.
I think it's very important because when
Yes,
I was a student, I remember I used to go to the guest lectures because to understand how the industry is working, because theory is very practical and theory is way different. And when
so
I
that
actually got into
I
this,
hope
I understood.
I hope my students are listening that you need to attend a guest session.
Oh yes, I mean I was in love with guest sections in my PGDM as well as in my grad time, but I really hope you guys appreciate this insight that you guys get from anyone who is coming from the industry because that is a real time thing they are talking about, including.
Okay. Okay, thank you
Okay,
so much.
thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much, ma'am. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks.
you so much.
Bye bye.
Bye.